tomorrow.
What? What's so funny?
I was just thinking about last summer. Remember when you were coaching me and we came up here and I was carrying my books? And so you had to help me down and I said that I could manage
on my own. Yeah, I remember very well.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want any more of that kind of talk anymore, okay?
Well, I'll never say that again, I promise. I could never manage on my own now that I found you. I need you, Carrie, and I always will.
Now for our morning dinner.
What? No! What?
What do you mean, no? Cooperate. You win, Mrs. Nelson.
Glad you had a good night's sleep.
Oh, I did. I hadn't realized how exhausted I got from that wedding yesterday.
You know, I was worried about you. But you look really good today.
Well, I should. Emily's been waiting on me hand and foot, and she's been watching me like a hawk.
Good for her.
Dad, what time does Andy go before the judge today?
2.
I've been thinking about Barbara and what she must be going through.
Yeah, I know. Mom's going to spend the morning with her kids, so to keep her mind off things.
It's a horrible thing for a mother to have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been lying here thinking about my baby and the kind of future I want him to have. Or her.
I don't really have a preference myself, but I think I would kind of lean towards a girl, just so I could pamper it and spoil it like I did you.
Well, if I have a little girl, I'll be very happy and I'll just love it to pieces, but I kind of hope I have a little boy.
Why?
No. I don't know. I guess ever since I found out that Philip isn't Alan's natural son, I've known how much he wanted to have a son.
You, can't get your mind off Alan, can you?
No, I'm sorry. I find myself thinking more and more about him the closer I get to having the baby. Well, enough of that. I'm not going to let sad thoughts spoil such a wonderful day.
Well, I should get out of your hair anyway.
No, Dad, don't leave. I love having you here with me.
No, I've got to go check the director about some things about Andy's case. Love you.
I love you too, Dad.
I'm going to leave some phone numbers where I can be reached so that if you get any warning signs or anything like that, you can reach me. Just call the service.
Okay. And Grandma called me and told me that Alan did leave some numbers with her where he could be reached also. Okay, bye, Dad.
Take it easy.
Okay.
Hope.
Good morning. I hope I didn't wake you up when I came in. I was trying to be quiet.
No, you didn't wake me up. I just had a terrifying dream. That's what woke me up.
What is it?
Well, I was dreaming that Hope was in some kind of trouble and that she was calling to me and that I couldn't find her. I know it was just a dream, but I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong.
And now, the award-winning Guiding Light. This portion is presented by Duncan Hines Brownie Mix with the liquid chocolate flavor packet for moist brownies. And by Ivory. There's a pure, natural kind of clean when you lather up with Ivory.
Could you get my dad? See if he's Uncle Ed's, okay? Oh, sorry, I can't breathe.
So, how is Morgan and Kelly's apartment coming along?
Oh, really terrific. There aren't as many kids over here today, but everything's really organized. This morning, they just finished all the woodwork, and then this afternoon, a whole new crew's coming in. They're going to wax and polish the floor so everything's perfect for when Kelly brings Morgan home today. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you, you and your brother don't have to go pick up the sofa bed because I already have some guys. They're going to go pick it up.
Trudy, I can't tell you how impressed I am with the way you've organized everything. And that beautiful wedding, the apartment, all of it.
Well, you know, we're all really rooting for Kelly and Morgan. You know, they've almost become a cause for all of us. Have you talked to him at all today?
No, unless with only a two-day honeymoon, I really don't think that they'll ever use the telephone or send postcards either, for that matter. Excuse me. Dr. Bauer. Oh, hi, Emily. How are you? No, my brother's not here at the moment. I really don't expect him.
Oh, Dr. Bauer, your brother's coming across the lawn right now.
Yes, he... Is something wrong?
Morning, Judy.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, dear.
Okay.
All right. Yes, we'll be right over. Thanks. Say, Mike, that was Emily. She wanted me to get hold of you before you left. Hope's not feeling well.
Well, I just left her a minute ago.
All right, listen, I'm going to call up Dr. Sedgwick at the hospital just in case, and I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, this is Dr. Bauer. Is Dr. Sedgwick there, please? It's an emergency.
Is the pain any worse, Mrs. Spaulding?
No, not really, but it was so intense before, I'm scared to move now.
What's the matter? Are you all right?
Dad, after you left, I started getting a very sharp pain.
Was it still that way? Is it all right?
No, it's just maintaining. It's staying the same.
Well, Ed said he'd be right here, right after he calls Dr. Sedgwick. Can I do something?
Yeah, Dad, could you try and get Alan, please?
Yeah.
Bert, I know I'm being a terrible nuisance, but with Hope so close to having our baby, I can't help worrying.
Well, Alan, I think you'd be a very unusual, expectant father if you weren't worried. But I just talked to Hope when she woke up about 7:30, and she sounded just fine.
Really?
Yes. And waiting for her breakfast tray to be brought up to her in bed. And she said she had a very good night's sleep.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
You don't sound convinced.
Bert, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you this because you know what a realist I am. I certainly don't believe in omens or portents or things like that.
Well, what do you mean, Alan?
I woke up this morning from the most terrible dream about Hope. She was in some kind of trouble. She was calling out to me. I know it was just a dream, Bert, but I can't stop feeling that something's really wrong.
Well, Alan, I think the dream has to do with your feeling helpless and cut off from Hope because of the separation.
You're probably right. But if you talk to Hope again, would you please call me and let me know that she's all right?
Yeah, I'll do better than that. I'm on my way over to Ed's right now, and I'll stop by at Hope's, and I'll check on her in person, and I'll give you a full report.
Thank you. I'd really appreciate
Are you still at your club?
Yes, I am. I'll be leaving here soon, however, but you can leave a message for me, and I'll be checking in with him because I'm not sure where I'm going to be this morning.
All right, I'll do that. And, Alan, please, try to relax.
I'll try, but I can't guarantee it. Thanks so much, Bert. Goodbye.
coffee.
Oh, thank you.
And?
Bert's going to check on Hope, and then she's going to leave a message for me at the club. As I told you, I gave them this number last night in case there was any emergency.
Oh, well, I'm sure there won't be. You know, I'd really like you to take a look at those figures that we worked on last night.
All right.
And then I have to go over today's schedule with you. Unless, of course, you've changed your mind and decided to come into the office today.
Well, I was thinking about it, but I have to go to court for Andy Norris's hearing, so I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
Why are you going to Andy's hearing? Was Andy blackmailing you? Why haven't you mentioned this?
Well, Diane being blackmailed by someone like Andy Norris isn't exactly something you brag about.
Well, of course not, but why would you keep it from me?
Look, please, I'd rather not talk about it.
All right. Well, if you're not too distracted, I'd appreciate it if you'd go over those figures. You know how important it is that they're absolutely accurate.
I will, but if Bert calls my club and leaves a message there's something wrong with Hope, I'm dropping everything, whether she agrees to see me or not.
I'll bring breakfast right in.
Listen, Hope's down in my car, and she's not experiencing any pain at the moment, but I would like to get her to Cedars as soon as possible.
I'll take the overnight bike down to the car, and I'll stay with her until you get there, Dr. Ralph.
Thanks, Emily. We'll be right there. Were you able to get hold of Alan? Hey, what's the matter?
Well, I finally reached Mom. And Alan had told her that he was his club, and it turned out he was lying.
She wasn't there?
No, he wasn't there.
Well, why would he lie about a thing like that?
You know, I couldn't figure that out either until I talked to the operator of the club. Alan hadn't picked up his messages since late last night. So the operator gave me an emergency number where he could be reached, and I recognized the number, so I looked in the phone book. It's Diane Ballard's. I just tried it. It's busy.
He spent the night with Diane?
Yes, it would appear that way.
I don't believe that guy.
So you take care of Hope, will you, and get her to the hospital. And I'll go over to Diane Ballard's, and I'll talk to Alan personally.
I didn't want to say anything in front of Jackie about Hope being brought into emergency. I know how close they are, and they're due at the same time.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because Jackie would have been very upset. She's been exchanging notes with Hope ever since they both discovered they were pregnant.
Well, Jackie's in excellent condition, and she's had an uncomplicated pregnancy. Poor Hope has had anything but that. I mean, the emotional pressure of the separation with Alan, the car accident, and that fall she took. I mean, it's just been a very difficult time for her.
Do you have any idea what's causing the pain?
Well, I don't want to jump to any conclusions before I've had a chance to examine her thoroughly, but I did tell her after her fall or the car accident that, there could be complications later on in her pregnancy.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm glad Ed's in there with her now. Listen, Margaret, thanks a lot for bringing me up to date. I'll talk to you later.
I hope you haven't been bothering my doctor. Unnecessary questions about my condition?
Well, I'm entitled to be a little overly concerned about you the last week of your pregnancy. Why don't you go home and get some rest?
Justin, I'm pregnant. I'm not an invalid. Anyway, I'm meeting Trish here shortly. Andy goes before the judge today. Trish is very nervous about having to appear and testify against him.
Well, I could certainly understand why. I mean, after that story you told me about finding her in her hotel suite, after Andy had beaten her up, poured alcohol down her throat.
Well, thank goodness he won't be able to hurt Trish anymore. Or anyone else, for that matter. Got a busy day today?
Every day's a busy day. Today's particularly bad because I am missing one very dedicated, enthusiastic clerk named Kelly.
Oh, yes. Oh, I loved listening to Eve's description of the wedding last night when she and Ben dropped by. Oh, it was the next best thing to being there.
Chamberlain wants the molding changed up there, so you're going to have to paint up there to begin.
What's Floyd doing here? I thought he'd managed to take a few days off after his wedding.
Oh.
Anyway, listen, you call me. Listen, go home after you see Trish, huh?
I promise.
All right. And I'll call you when you get there and make sure you're all right.
Good. Hey, you know, I may make fun of all your fussing and worrying, but I love every minute of it.
Well, I love you, period.
Oh.
I'll see you.